I have a good mix of fragrances here. These are all the fragrances I finished in 2025. I'm going to start off with my genres because these have already been repurchased. I have a 10 ml of A Century More. I've refilled this like six times at this point. A Century More is after the Minnie Mouse Disney 100, if I'm not mistaken. I love these 10 mls because they're refillable. It's just so easy. The atomizers are incredible. But this is one of my favorite genre scents, A Century More. Then I have Fairy Dust, no surprise. Anything with the Happy Dust DNA from Narcotica is a forever favorite, but Genres is probably my favorite of all time. I went through a 10 ml of that, probably a few 10 mls because I refill these pretty often, but I like to have them in my purse. And then I have a 10 ml of Safe Haven, which is Narco Oasis from Narcotica. I love genre parfums, obviously, and I always keep these, but I refill them, and every time I empty them, I include them in an empties video. And then my husband went through a Waves of Musk, which is a mix between Fluidity Silver and Musk Therapy. This is so potent, and every time that we're at Universal, he brings this because it smells like swamp ass. It smells like swamp ass out there. And we went during Christmas break, and it was packed, and that saved our noses. Whatever. Anyways, then I have Queso Delicious. I wouldn't repurchase this. I liked it, but this is so reminiscent of Nebra's to me that it's redundant. It also reminds me of Fresh Cream Warm Cashmere, so it's redundant. Then I have Care Pistachio. I started disliking this one about halfway through. This is from Paris Corner. I just like pistachio done in a more gourmand way, and this is more of like a freshy kind of pistachio. It's just very fresh, and this isn't, I like fresh scents, but I don't like pistachio in this fresh scent way. It's just not my favorite, so I would not repurchase that either. This is my first Middle Eastern fragrance, I think, ever. This is Swiss Arabian's Casablanca. This is supposed to be, it has apple, caramel, I think some type of woods, patchouli, very lightly. Really what I get is a green apple. This is my first Middle Eastern fragrance ever. I either got it in 2018, maybe, but it's the first one I ever bought, and I like this, and it's good for what it is. But for me, it's mostly a green apple, and for that, I'm probably not going to repurchase. It's not something I gravitate towards a whole lot. Yeah, so it's lovely, and I like Swiss Arabian quite a bit, but I'm not going to repurchase. Okay, how to switch the angle up a little bit, but we're just going to go with it. Then I have the Dua brand. This is Dust of Delight. This is another Narcotica's Happy Dust DNA. I really like this one. I think Fairy Dust is better, but the Dua brand did a great job emulating the Happy Dust DNA. At one point, I had 5 backup bottles of this. I sold 4, and I kept 1, and then this is when I got really low on this one. I was like, okay, I actually love this. I feel like this is why smaller bottles are the way to go, because I actually finished a 34 ml. I know I finished some other bigger bottles, but those had been in my collection for years. Well, not all of them, but some of them. This one's 34 ml, and I went through this in months. And yeah, so it's a good size to have. Not everything has to be 100 ml. I feel like that should be reserved for your absolute forever favorites. They do make this in 100 ml now. I'm pretty sure it's called Dua Luxe. But anyways, I already have 100 ml of Fairy Dust, and whatever. It's a good one if you were interested in that DNA. This is another one that I won't repurchase. This is Ariana Grande's Cloud 2.0 or Intense. I don't even remember when I bought this. This had to have been when it first came out, because I went through this, or I emptied this at the beginning of 2025, and I haven't thought about it once. I haven't missed it. I know this DNA has been done a million times now. Some people say that this smells like Baccarat Rouge 540. I never got that impression. Or maybe the original smells like Baccarat Rouge 540. Either way, this isn't something I'm repurchasing. It is a mass appealing vanilla scent. So if you're into that and you like the packaging, then I would say go for it. Otherwise, I'm not repurchasing this. But it's a nice vanilla. It smells good. It's something I'm very attracted to anymore. And then we have 2 Dead Cool. Red Dakota is very green, very citrus. If you like that, I think you would love Red Dakota. However, I had to always layer this with something a little bit sweeter. I would wear it by itself occasionally in the spring. I really liked wearing this by itself, but I did end up layering it more often than not with, like, for example, like a strawberry fragrance, Coach Love as an example. I'd wear it with Red Dakota all the time. It's just very green, very citrusy. It's very zesty. I liked it. I wouldn't repurchase it again, not in a 50 ml. I would have gotten like something smaller and be happy with it. If you like green scents, you might love that one. But one that I do miss very much and I want to repurchase so bad, but I'm holding off, is Dead Cool's Extra Milk. This is what I consider kind of like the Happy Dust DNA, that I would consider a perfect forever fragrance, signature scent worthy. This is, if you like this, you'd probably also like Nemat's Amber, or 1111 from Lake and Sky, or Riddle Oil, any of those, the original Riddle Oil, anything like that, I love. So this is something that I would want to repurchase immediately. Dead Cool's Extra Milk is wonderful. Another one I'm very torn about is Kayali's Vanilla 28. This is a 50 ml. I love this fragrance. I love this fragrance very much because it's not just like your typical vanilla, but I can't say that since I've emptied this, which was again probably the first quarter of 2025, that I have yearned for this fragrance. I have missed it and like layering it with different fragrances, but I don't know. It's not like your run-of-the-mill vanilla. It is a little bit different, a little bit almost like, I don't want to say it's boozy, but that's kind of the vibe that I get. It's like a boozy vanilla. And she's beautiful, but they also just increase their prices. And I'll probably buy it secondhand, if anything, because they just increased their prices again. So I love Kayali so much, but I don't know about that. Then over here I have kind of like what I said earlier from Kiss It Delicious, Fresh Cream Warm Cashmere. If I were to pick between Fresh Cream Warm Cashmere, Nebra's, Kiss It Delicious, and there's one other fragrance that reminds me of these, I would say go with Nebra's or Fresh Cream Warm Cashmere. I got this on like super sale. It was under 20 bucks from Ulta during the 21 Days of Beauty. A while ago I had bought 2. This is the second one, so I'm officially out of this one. If you can get on a super sale, get it. They don't last very long, but they are extremely warm and cozy and comforting, especially like after you freshly showered, you're like bundled up with your blanket or whatever, reading a book. It's lovely, but it doesn't last very long either, and it's not meant to. And I'm typically okay with fragrances that aren't like beast mode. This has already been repurchased. This is another one that I consider a forever favorite. This is Clean Classic Skin. I've already repurchased this, but when I repurchased, I did the Clean Reserve Skin, which is the one with the wooden cap. I really like this. This is, again, a forever favorite. I will always repurchase this. I really want the Skin Reserve Intense that just came out, but again, I should probably hold off. But yeah, that's... Oh, I have some body sprays. Oh my god, what am I doing? At the beach, can you tell how old this is? Look at this bottle. This is so old. I would not repurchase this. It took me probably, I don't know, 4 summers to get through this. And last but not least, I have a Being Frenchie Lavender Cloud. This was lovely, and I'm not even a big lavender fan. This is such a wonderful bedtime scent. And then I have the Chris Ness, the One Signature. If you're a fan of the signature shampoo from them, I remember having a Chris Ness perfume, but it feels like a fever dream. I don't know. They came out with a hair mist. I love this one, and I also like the other one, the Tress Loose one, but this is the one that I finished in 2025. And then very quickly, I have Heaven Sent by Shannon. I have the inspired by Sol de Janeiro Cheirosa 59, the 30 ml EDP. But the star of all this really is the dry body oil. This absorbed into my skin so quickly. Didn't leave me greasy, but still left me super like shiny, but not greasy. I don't know. This was awesome. And they did a really good job doing the scent. So that is everything that I used up in 2025.